This episode is brought to you by Freestyle Photographic Supply.
Welcome to another episode of Badflashes. In today's episode, we're gonna party with the Yashica T4. Just kidding, it's a T3. It's just different body style, you know? Look how cute and slick that is.
Look at Jason, he's looking cool, just hanging out. Woo!
Welcome back to another episode where me and my BFF head to the desert and we try to avoid a little bit of heat stroke. But let's also review a pint-sized, semi-pocketable camera that was lent out to me from a friend of the channel. Let's call him Fred. That camera is none other than the Yashica T3, the ugly stepsister in the compact Yashica point-and-shoot market. Let's just say most people really tend to gravitate to the T4. So where does this camera lie? And is it actually better than the T4? And just like all my other point-and-shoot reviews, we are gonna be a judgy bitch and pit this against my personal criteria. Size, image quality, turning me on, and the focus hit rate. So let's go see what this camera is capable of and get some heat stroke together. But to try to mitigate the heat a bit, Jason and I took a trip up north for a little 2-day lover's retreat. Up here, I knew that the light would allow for some sexy photos. But before we could even take a single banger, we need to nourish our bodies. So say it with me, baby. Barbecue!
Okay, that barbecue was yummy AF.
Unfortunately, we had so much barbecue that we needed to pass out for a few hours once we reached our destination. Which was fine because the lighting kind of sucked anyway, so might as well hang out in the AC. So this Yashica T3, also known as the Kodak T-Scope, was debuted to the world in 1988 and is a 35mm point-and-shoot camera coming from the overlords known as Kodak. Kodak actually bought Yashica in 1983 because NASA launched the Challenger, and Kodak needed to really prove themselves, I think. Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm gonna put in some of my favorite film. We got some Lomo 800 for those Lomo goodnesses. One. Let's go. Welcome back, old friend.
Okay, so let's get into that first criteria when looking for a point-and-shoot camera. Dat size. The Yashica T3 is as big as 3 limes taped together and basically as thick as the Ricoh and the Olympus combined. So really, it's not even a fair fight against those 2 pocket rockets. And that's also compared to other cameras out there on the market as well. Now, to be fair, it still fits in the pocket, but you might want to start wearing those Janko jeans again. Or a pair of tan cargo shorts. They don't have to be tan.
Also, it's cool because it's like a super scope.
Welcome back, old friend.
As compared to the much more popular successor, the T4, this thing is definitely bigger. Maybe that's why the T4 was so popular. But overall, I must say that this puppy is pretty light and as easy to use as 1, 2, 3. Even though it is on the bigger side, the hand grip is really nice and solid. Not once did I think this thing was gonna slip out of my hands. So that is a plus.
Man, so the thing is this super scope doesn't really give you the same field of view. Maybe it's for just like getting an approximate framing, you know, just kind of like, oh, cool, and then boom, you know.
Straight up, I really like this shot. I can tell that the Lomo 800 was forcing the T3 to stop down, but that is why I like it. You notice all the texture from the foreground to the deep, deep background. Lomo just hits, you know? Now that we were successfully late enough that all the restaurants were closed, we picked up the staples at Vaughn's. You know, just enough to survive the night. Oh, Templeton. All right. That next morning, we'd be looking at the ass crack of early, so we needed to take it easy, or just drink. Smooth. Templeton Rye, sponsor us. As for actual specs of the camera, it boasts an electromagnetic shutter ranging from 1 second to 1/630, and the DX code range is from 64 to 1600. And like most point and shoots, it defaults to ISO 100 if you don't rock a DX code, or if you end up ripping it off with your teeth.
It's a healthy morgue.
I bought the coffee flavor thinking it was like not gonna be that like sugary, but it is.
So what's the big deal with the glass? How's the quality? Well, I am happy to report, damn, yo. We have some crispy, crispy images right here. But like, duh. This 35mm field of view T3 Terminator is rocking a healthy Carl Zeiss Tessar T-coated lens. And not to mention, it's open super wide at a 2.8. The previous T2 was a 35 f3.5, and the T4, which was after the T3, is actually a 35 f3.5 as well. So like, the T3 is the weird one out of the bunch, but like in a hot way, you know, like it feels weird that they would go back to a 3.5 for the T4. But I digress. Because we're here for the T3, and boy does she slay. Every image I've taken with this camera so far has been spot on and tack sharp. Now overall, the design of this camera is pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy here. In all senses, it is just a point and shoot.
True dreams.
It's a nice crisp morning.
Now for the newest criteria on my list, focus hit rate, which was created because my Mute doesn't have a reliable one at all. The T3 nails it. It's great, it's solid. To be fair, I didn't really take photos of people here on this trip, but the ones I have taken after, baby, they hit. Yeah, the camera slays.
See how it does in a backlit scenario.
Now there is one image that baffles me a little bit. This can was not in focus, even though I thought I forced the focus to be there and then recomposed. But to be honest, every other time the focus was spot on. So yeah, probably my bad.
Sometimes it feels like point and shoots, when you look through them, you're like, cool, that is gonna be a great photo. And sometimes you're like, it's okay. And maybe it has something to do with like the way the viewfinder is a little bit. I don't know. It's just kind of how I feel in the moment. We'll see what happens when I get the images back and they either look dope or they don't. I don't know. Man, the light is hitting a lot of these like things really nicely.
Now, while we're here taking a little coffee break, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Freestyle Photo. Are you preparing to go on your next trip and realize, oh no, you're all out of film? Well, that's where Freestyle comes to your rescue. Freestyle has been servicing photographers and students alike for more than 75 years. So you can rest assured that they know what they're talking about. If you're just starting out in photography or have been a seasoned film addict for a while now, you'll find everything you need and more to further your craft. Do you need some chemicals to start your developing journey? Or do you need some film for the numerous amount of cameras that you have? Or do you need a disposable camera for some fun spur of the moments? Look no further. Anytime I'm low, I hop on over to the Hollywood location, but for those times I'm feeling really lazy, I hop online because I know that shipping is fast. And if you're looking to print your ever so beautiful photos, Freestyle is the place for you to go for traditional darkroom enlarging materials or inkjet printing themselves. They even have a printmaster on staff so they can answer any of those cues that you might have to get you started. So whether you're shopping online for some new film or some supplies or even some camera swag, Freestyle has you covered. Either visit them online or you're at their LA location. Okay, well, let's get back to it.
Ain't gonna lie. Lomo, I hope, is gonna look real good this morning. Lomo will always look good in the morning though. You know what I mean?
If this doesn't show the lens quality, I don't know what will. A, the lighting is great. B, so sharp. So sharp.
That was the last one. Well, there we go. Time to load up a new one.
On the top, you have a flash and a self-timer, and that's basically it. In my experience, anytime I've turned the flash on and then have taken a photo, the flash turns off again. In my opinion, that's a little bit quirky, but if your photo does need a flash overall to expose properly, then the camera will indeed flash. Don't think, just shoot.
No thanks.
I have to say, I'm not a fan of waking up early, but the light hits differently in the morning. And this lens is capturing the light beautifully. Let's just be honest, I'd totally tap that location again. Also, along the lines of optics, the T3 added a NA scope, which actually stands for new angle. Most people, at the end of the day, called them super scopes. Don't think you're gonna use this new angle for accurate framing because it really only covers like 67% of the frame overall. And for my eye, it feels a little bulbousy, like you're looking through a fisheye. But it is a nice addition if you wanted to get discreet shots without people watching you bring a boxy blob up to your face and hear a samurai sword chunk. Now, how fast can this baby be ready to shoot? Because really, that is just super important to me. Yep, that's fast. Honestly, beats out my Rico. One slip, Denzel Washington. That's blazing fast, baby. So let's wrap up this little camera in a nice bow and give you my final verdict. Does this puppy do the thing? Yeah, it totally does. It inspires confidence with each mechanical slice, even though it's a bit loud. And the image quality is rock solid, world class. I mean, come on, contacts. And the autofocus is top notch. It won't miss. And I can't forget to mention, currently, they're not too expensive. But the only downside of this camera is the size, if that is indeed a downside. If you're wanting a small camera, I would say that this is probably not the one for you, and you should just go with the T4. That's probably why people like it in the first place. But if you're okay with this thicker bod, then go for it, because the images are quite world class in my opinion. Honestly, they might be better than my Ricoh's images, and yeah, that really hurts to say. And one massive thanks again to Fred for letting me borrow this camera. Well, that'll do it for me today. Let me know in the comments below if you would pick one of these things up or even shoot it. And I guess, I don't know, what do you have for dinner? Okay, bye!